Okay, this is an update on the Rotary Climate Change Project, which is an ambitious project, but it follows our example of Rotary taking a bold leadership role. We've got two components. First is to obtain carbon zero certification for the club, if possible, but also to increase the awareness amongst everybody as what we can do to reduce our own emissions and our own household carbon footprint. So, as we look at it, probably our greatest influence actually is to influence other Rotary and related organisations and influence our own wider personal and business networks, and ultimately, with a bit of morality and our own influence, hopefully institutions and government, because that's what will actually make the difference. So this is the statement that is out of it. As the leaders of positive social change, we also have a commitment to promote environmental stability and sustainability. So that's basically what we're doing with an aim to becoming carbon zero. Okay, so today's carbon zero session is going to take us through what we all can personally do. Scope of the measures, and we can't measure everything that's out wide. We can only measure stuff that we're responsible for as a club. So we've got to have an ability to influence. It's got to have a direct relevance to us. It's ours to control and to measure, and it can be audited and verified. Because if we're going to go through this, we're actually registered with Environmental Solutions, and we're actually going through the process. So basically, our biggest thing is travel to and from events, travel to and from committee meetings, travel to and from business travel, and then transportation, food, and bits and pieces. Right, everybody stand up. If you walked or cycled to today's meeting, or you used an electric car, you can sit down. Okay, if you took public transport, carpooled, can you put a coin in the box and you can sit down? If you anything else, it's called a note in the box. You can sit down. Okay, another one too. Anybody who's taken a plane trip this year, stand up. If it was a domestic flight, it's a coin and you can sit down. If it was an international flight, you can afford a note and then sit down. I was going to ask that, Helen, I forgot about that. Okay, so basically what you've seen is pretty much what we did last week at the Jumbo Tennis Survey. We did a Jumbo Tennis Survey. Well, actually, Survey Monkey did the Jumbo Tennis Survey. It was an offline Survey Monkey, so we went around with clipboards. And the results are still being analysed. We have a busy economist, but they're not going to take as long as the last census because we actually have the data. So of the 40 teams entered, we got about 30 teams information. And those of you who volunteered, you probably are aware that Joan and I were in your face, and we got about 75% of all those assisting. So thanks everybody. So next steps. Now that we've tested we can do this and it works, we're actually going to send out, officially this time by Survey Monkey, there's too many of you, online, and for those that don't have computers, are more technology challenged, we'll do it by paper as well. And so we'll have it out before the end of the month, and the responses are due by Easter. However, it's not just a survey, we will be following you up. And the other thing we've got to do is before and with major events that belong to the club. So we've got a lot of things that are in and quite a few that are out. Like some of you guys went and did brewing just before Christmas. Such a small sample, we'll ignore that.
Good beer though. Good beer.
Yeah, it was a marvellous thing. So, you know, once again, Eureka's excluded because we're only part of it. If we're supplying willing volunteers for something that's not really ours, it just gets too complex to measure at the moment. So let's start simply with what we can do. So that's what we've got. And then what else do we need? Well, James Cook here have actually got a waste reduction program. They've had it in place for a number of years, and last year they were the finalists in the Wellington Gold Awards for the green section. So they've minimised production, they're using low emission lighting, they're using pretty much recycling everything they can, and they're the first hotel in Wellington and just the second in New Zealand to get, in 2014 they got the environmental certification from Qualmark. So we're in good hands, and it's a really good reason why we shouldn't be moving. Right, what can we do personally? Okay, back on your feet. If you're a vegetarian or grow your own veggies, you can sit down. If you eat a balanced diet, limited meat and dairy products, and eat everything on your plate, you can pay a coin and sit down. The rest of you livers of good life, a note would be nice, thank you. I won't make you stand up. It's basically essentially choosing low package items, recomposting anything you can, and if you're an imprudent shopper and you don't dispose of anything other than green waste, once again, you're in good books. The end game. And this comes to your carbon credits and your offsets. If you can't save or influence, plant trees, buy carbon credits. But before taking this step, we need to measure what we've got and explore efficient ways of reducing it. Because the benefit of what we're trying to do is make the city a great place for our grandchildren and those coming behind us. So last call, if you don't use your Keep Up cup or Keep Cup for takeaway coffee, don't use re-shopping bags routinely or use containers several times, then let us help you. You can clean out your pockets and put that in the bin. Thank you very much.